7-minute daily reality check. Every day we give you a new sense of reality. Wake the fuck up. Think about it. Because that's what the reality check is all about. Every day, it's a new way to look at a new thing about the way that we do things. Wow. I should not drink water at the same time that I'm doing the reality, because my reality is I just almost choked myself. Here's a shout out to all you people in Houston. For those of you that think it's interesting to be able to walk through your city in a bathing suit in the floodwaters, I want you to realize that you're basically going to have staph infection all over your body. So do me a favor. Find a place that you can go shower and get that dirty sewage water off of you, man. It's brutal. I can't believe the amount of rain. But then again, there's no such thing as global warming, right, Brett? No such thing.
No such thing. It's a myth.
It's a myth. Houston has, on a regular basis, 40 inches of rain in a 2-day period. I mean, that's normal.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally normal. And Galveston is totally underwater.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the whole thing is just blown out of proportion.
And none of this has ever happened before. So it's not like global warming is coming, right, Al Gore? Not at all. There's no reality about global warming at all. We're just going to continue to be ignorant people and ignore it. I got a shout out today to fucking Amazon. Oh, have you seen what they've done to Whole Foods?
They lowered the prices, right? They lowered the prices at Whole Foods.
Whole Foods is now going to become, and I've read articles on it, I read articles online, okay, Whole Foods is now going to become literally Amazon's warehouse of food, where Amazon is going to bring Americans organic, clean, healthy food, and supposedly, and this is what Jim Cramer wrote this morning, I read it online, is good luck Trader Joe's and everybody else, because nobody can compete with Amazon's low prices. So the other day I walked into Whole Foods, yesterday, 80% of the store, not only was it always my favorite place to pick women up, but now 80% of the store is cheaper than it was before. My organic chicken that used to be $13.99 that I bought because I don't want my antibiotic chicken running around, right, was $9.99. Almond butter went from like $9 to $6, okay? And the list of things, the vegetables and the way they're going to market everything, they're going to take vitamins out supposedly and not have vitamins anymore. And they're just going to have more foods and more organic stuff. So shout out today, man. The reality is that Americans have been eating crappy food for a long, long time. And Whole Foods is now going to give you that chance. And I got to tell you, you can't compete with Amazon. There's no chance in hell. So Ralph's, Pavilions, Safeway, Trader Joe's, good fucking luck, man, because you're competing with the lowest, you're competing with basically Walmart. Walmart can't compete with Amazon. And they talked about how Amazon is going to take that same thing and they're going to turn literally Whole Foods into like Walmart's, you know, with dropping prices and everything else. And they're going to make things affordable because Amazon works on much smaller margins than anybody else because they've got such buying power. Right. So things are changing, man. That's the reality. The reality is all you people who haven't eaten good food, well, guess what? You can start eating good food again. Shit, I like that. Anything else going on in the news, man, that we got to change people's realities besides Trump still acting like a fucking moron?
Well, the crazy Koreans fired a missile over Japan. Japan never bothered anybody. Why are you attacking Japan? Like, they're nice people. They make great sushi. They're, you know, smart. They're educated. They're gentle. Like, why would you attack Japan?
It's a warning sign. I mean, it's just a warning sign. And did you know, I learned this too, that Trump had to hire somebody on a fly to head FEMA, because there was no head of FEMA before all this stuff hit in Houston last week. Trump had to go and hire somebody. Did you read that?
No, but my other best friend has been at the Environmental Protection Agency for 26 years, and he when we were in New York, he filled me in on what exactly they're gutting that agency. The guy who's running that agency spent his whole life trying to fight government regulations that protected your air and your drinking water and your environment. So it's all being dismantled.
You know, everything is being dismantled. Right. I mean, as we know it, everything is dismantled. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to have one-itis. In 10 years, Google, Facebook, and Amazon are going to basically own just about everything. You know, they're basically going to be buying up all these things. I mean, they're going to buy up all these little companies, and they're going to run them exactly the way that they did. And Google's going to own Apple one day. I mean, all this stuff is coming. Google will probably buy Tesla. and like start owning, and start getting into the car business. It's interesting how we're going into this. So there's another show I want us to do tomorrow, which is Don't Fuck with the Single Moms. Okay, we're going to talk about that. But I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to be a word association game that we're playing right now. Now that we're no longer in Montauk, I'm going to say something to you, and you're going to give me the analogy. Resistance, persistence.
Resistance, persistence. What you resist persists. The thing that you resist the most is what you need to look at. The thing that you absolutely believe is not your problem actually is your problem because you're denying it, and it keeps throwing itself at you because you're denying it. Resistance, persistence.
So basically, you're in a relationship with somebody, you think you've healed, right? And this is one of the greatest things in the entire world, right? We get out of a relationship with is it a gas lighter?
Could be, yeah.
Right, with a gaslighter. Look it up. We're not going to talk about gaslighters on today's show, but let me tell you something. Man, they got some fucking end game you don't see coming. You might be with a narcissist, which is the buzzword nowadays. You might be someone who's very self-centered. And then all of a sudden you go and you think you've healed, right? You spent 4 years being single and you said, I've done all the work that I possibly can. Then you meet someone in a relationship who's exactly what you really want them to be. And then you realize, holy shit, I am still fucked up. I still haven't done the work, because resistance persistence game is that literally the same stuff keeps coming up over and over again until we finally do it. Now, in order to have the resistance persistence game to end, you need somebody who has your back, right? Isn't that what we're looking for in a relationship? Somebody that looks at us and says, you know what? You're not fucked up. We're all fucked up because you have your fucked up stuff. I got my fucked up stuff, right? And the part of coaching or having a great relationship is that you can go to somebody and go, here's my layer of my onion. I'm going to give you layer number 1, and let's see if you like it. Then we're going to go to layer number 2 and layer number 3. Then we're going to go to DEFCON 5. When DEFCON 5 comes out, that's when you realize, holy shit, childhood stuff starts coming up again. The way that we were brought up, the way we were Pavlov, the way we use food in our life, the way we cope with it. Will you eat when you're depressed or starve yourself?
Neither. But what you don't realize is that you go through all these changes and you go through a bad relationship or a bad marriage or whatever it is, and you come out and you say, okay, I'm good, I'm healed, like you said, I'm ready to be in another relationship, I know what to do. But here's the thing, you got to give yourself a little bit of a break next time you get involved, because being in a relationship is a one-on-one thing. So you may know why your past relationship failed, but now you've met a whole other person. And you need to learn and give yourself room to learn how to be in a relationship with the new person and not bring shit from the old person, right? That's really important. It's like each time you get into a relationship, you have to learn how to be in a relationship with that person, right? That's the person you want to be in a relationship with, and everybody's different. So it's not like you suddenly are great at relationships and you know how to deal with everybody. It's a one-to-one thing.
Well, not only that, it's like that person who comes to you, if you've done the work, you're finally going to meet somebody who actually is who you should have met the whole time. The problem is we all have PTSD or PTDD, post-traumatic dating disorder, where we've hung out under PTDD so often, and we finally meet the person that we really need, the person that fills our love tank unbelievably, like does the things that we don't even ask for. I mean, it blows you away, but then you don't trust it. Because why don't you trust it? Because everybody else has fucked with you so much, because people fuck with each other, and whether it's conscious fucking with you or unconscious fucking, people leave relationships far worse off than they actually think they really are, because we sweep it under the proverbial carpet. My joke was, in your house and my house growing up, be careful when you walk through the front door and don't trip on all the shit that our parents fucking swept under the welcome mat, right?
Right. Well, you talked about resistance, persistence, and here's the deal. Here's what's going to happen, and it's going to happen. You might as well just not fight it. The person you fall in love with is going to be great. They're going to be awesome, but they're going to push the one button in you that needs to be pushed, okay? The one fly in the ointment, it's not their fly, it's yours, right? The one thing you need to work on is going to be the one disconnect that you have with the person that you fall in love with.
And if that person loves you, that person will look at you and say, hey, babe, I got it. Let's work through this shit. I understand. I got it. I'm here. Take your time. If it takes 6 months to work through it, A year, take your fucking time. As long as, you are taking your time and you are working through that thing. Resistance, persistence, man. Tomorrow we're going to talk about don't fuck with the, with the gift of love, because I think that's really important too. So there's a new phrase we got out there. You're going to call it PTDD, resistance, persistence. You're going to say it. You're going to spread it. You're going to look for Brett and I. Brett's going to be a co-host on a regular basis, man, which is good for all of you because his wisdom is through the roof, man. I got to tell you, together we've been on this planet. I'm not going to tell you the amount of years, but it's an ugly number. And if we both live to that number, we've been on this planet an immense amount of years. Ray Donovan this year, one word?
Boring.
Okay. Boring, boring, boring. Ozark. Have you watched Ozark?
No, not watched Ozark.
Jason Bateman, incredible. Ray Donovan, I'm sorry, Leave, whatever his name is. What the fuck is his real name?
Well, he was born Lee, but he changed it to Leave.
Right. Lee walks around now and he's got this downer look on his face and he's just sulking because his wife died, who he cheated on the whole time. So you don't know whether or not it was guilt or anything that he's feeling right now. The character development on the show, if any of the writers for Ray Donovan are listening right now, I strongly suggest you call Brett and I, because we can write a much better fucking script than you've ever put together, because your character development is ridiculous. I'm sorry, Bunchy going into a sandwich shop and getting held up and losing his $1 million because he's a retard. I mean, it's just not a good show anymore. It's been jumping the shark for the last couple of years. But you know what? We resist not watching, but Ray Donovan persists not being good. We'll see you tomorrow on the 10-Minute Daily Reality Check.